The Pokemaniac is probably, maybe without a doubt, the most iconic trainer class in Pokemon. For me, it's definitely one of the most recognizable trainer classes in the series. Pokemaniacs are seriously dedicated to Pokemon. They're kind of like the Pokefan trainer class, you know, the trainer class that is usually depicted like a happy family that is into Pokemon merchandise. Maybe their kid cosplays as Pikachu sometimes. Pokemaniacs are kind of like that trainer class, only maybe on steroids or some kind of intense recreational drug. They're usually depicted as being obsessed with one kind of particular Pokemon or several kind of particular Pokemon. And they take their passion for Pokemon to the next level in some form of costume or represented in their team somehow. But aside from being one of my favorite trainer classes, they are also among one of my favorite trainer designs of Pokemon. Hi, I'm Charizard, and for this video I wanted to rank my top 5 favorite Pokemaniac designs. At number 5 is actually going to be a tie between two trainers, the Pokemaniac from Generation 1 and the Pokemaniac from Generation 2. The reason being because they're practically the same trainer. You see, as much as I love this trainer class, their designs didn't actually begin to get interesting until later generations. At first, this trainer class was depicted as being pretty strange fellows with long trench coats that bragged about their Pokemon collection, or they usually bragged about some kind of Pokemon that they wanted to use, or they were petty about the way that they lost their last Pokemon battle against, well, you. But there wasn't really anything about their design that pointed toward their Pokemon obsession. Usually their Pokemon obsession was reflected by their team or some kind of dialogue that they had before or after they battled you. Who can forget such iconic Pokemaniac lines like, "When you finish your Pokedex, can I have it?" and "I can beat you when it comes to knowledge about Pokemon." And also, "What's the point of shiny Pokemon if they aren't any different from the original Game Freak? Huh? Why?" The Pokemaniac got really meta with that last one, especially in such an early generation. It really happened, it was totally a dialogue in Generation 2. Look it up. Anyway, this early in Pokemon games, there wasn't a ton to this Pokemaniac design, so it's at the bottom of this list. I also don't know how you all feel, but I get the feeling that Pokemaniacs were supposed to kind of freak you out when you were a kid, and now that I look at the design and recontextualize it, it doesn't reckon well with me what's being implied with these mega fans. Later generations portray the Pokemaniac in a less creepy, more quirky kind of vibe. At number 4 is the Pokemaniac from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Me and this man, we would totally get along. First of all, Charizard pants. I assume that's Charizard pants. I mean, I think it's Charizard pants. If not Charizard, at least probably Charmander pants. I mean, either one, honestly. Great choice in pants. As someone who is not ashamed of their love for Charizard, I gotta respect the pants. One thing I do wonder about, however, with this Pokemaniac design is I can't help but wonder what the rest of the costume is supposed to look like. Can't you just picture some adorable Charizard up there, or maybe even like a Charmander if that's what it's supposed to be? Also, feel free to theorize on any other Pokemon that bottom could be. Bottom. I'm pretty sure it's a Charizard, but let me know if you think it might be something different other than a Charmander, maybe a Cubone? You know what it might actually be? It's this other Pokemaniac design from a different generation but a different game. Because it almost looks like this top could be part of the rest of the costume from Omega Ruby. They do look remarkably similar in terms of color. By the way, even though I chose Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as my number 4, I do want to talk a little bit briefly about this other design from Fire Red and Leaf Green. You could probably guess why. It's the Charizard pants again, but also because this is kind of like a hybrid between the Pokemaniac from Generation 1 and 2 and the Pokemaniac from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Maybe this is one of those guys cosplaying after their day job in what I assume is some kind of laboratory. Maybe. At number 3 is the Pokemaniac from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This guy has a more complete costume, and that's why he ranks a little higher. Also, if I'm correct, I have to give him extra props because I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe he may be cosplaying as the substitute doll. You know, the substitute that your doll... The substitute that your Pokemon uses in place of itself when you use the move substitute. If I'm correct, that's pretty brilliant. Not only because, like, from the developer's side, but also because, like, this Pokemon fan in particular is cosplaying as this substitute doll. Like, he could have been cosplaying as any old regular Pokemon. Like, he could have been Charmander or Charizard. He could have been any Pokemon. He could have been cosplaying as that Pokeball guy. What the hell's his name? Is it Pokeball guy? No, it's Ball Guy. It's just literally Ball Guy. Yeah, this man could have been cosplaying as Ball Guy, but instead, he's like, I want to be the substitute doll. I really want to be the substitute doll. And it's great, I love it, it's brilliant. That's why I'm giving him the number 3 spot. He's either cosplaying as the substitute doll, or he's a Rhydon or a Rhyhorn. I forget which one is which, the one that stands up. But if he's cosplaying as either one of those two, I think he has the colors wrong, so I truly believe he's the substitute doll. At number 2 is the newcomer, the Pokemaniac from Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. This guy certainly went overboard, but I have to give him credit. He put a lot of work into his vest. So look at that vest. And let me tell you, it's filled with some of the most iconic Pokemon. I mean, he's got a Rhyhorn, Rhydon. I still haven't checked which one is which, don't hate me. He's got a Gyarados, he's got a Dragonite, but by far my favorite part of his outfit has got to be the Nidoking Fanny Pack. Fanny Pack. Okay, this is hilarious. I'm using speech to text, and for some reason, speech to text has bleeped the word fanny. Why can't I say that word? Fanny. That's goofy. Anyway, yeah, that fanny pack. It's amazing. I love it. I want one for myself. I would wear it everywhere. I would make all my friends jealous with it. This man also ranks pretty high on the list because he clearly has a really genuine love for Pokemon. It's very apparent in the amount of work he's put into this outfit and the number of Pokemon that he's got on there. He definitely represents the ultimate evolution of the Pokemaniac trainer class. He is the paragon of Pokemaniacs, if you will. Or is he? No doubt, he's got some love for Pokemon, but I definitely think there's one design that incorporates everything the Pokemaniac was intended to embody. A design that incorporates both the love of Pokemon and that creep factor that was totally present in the first few generations, and it embraces that creep factor. Number 1 is the Pokemaniac from Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, or Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee if you prefer. I mean, look at him. First of all, this man, I absolutely love that shirt. It's a bit on the minimalistic side, and I love it. It's great. I'm a huge Slowpoke fan, so maybe I'm a little biased here, but I just love that shirt. I really do. I love that hat. It's a good hat. I would wear that hat. I would wear it everywhere. I want it. Somebody buy it for me, please. I mean, he's in complete cosplay. He's got the gloves. Look at the gloves. This man went full out. Like, look at it. I love that the little feet of the costume resemble little Slowpoke feet. The attention to the detail here is great. I also know that at first I was mentioning that the intended creep factor in previous generations left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but I think they completely embrace it in this design because, I don't know, this man, I love him. I love this design. I know he's number 1. I put him as my number 1 for Pokemaniac Designs, but he kind of creeps me out. I don't know why. I know that's a bit contrary because I put him at the top of my list, but there's just something about him. I don't know. I think it might be his depiction in the Pokemon trading card game in particular. Look at this. It's simultaneously hilarious, but also creeps me out a little. I don't know why. Anyway, he gets the number 1 spot. He just does. Look at the man. He deserves it. He truly is a Pokemaniac. Okay, so that just about does it for this list of the top 5 Pokemaniacs. I love this character design. I love how quirky they are. I love their, obsession with Pokemon. It makes me feel like I'm not enough of a fan, like I should be doing more. Anyway, I love this character design so much. I love the progression that they've gone through from first generation where they weren't kind of really anything special to now where they're just in full-blown cosplay. It's great. I can't wait to see the next one. And thank you so much for watching this video if you stuck around to the end. If you didn't, then I guess you aren't hearing this part, but if you did, then hi, and also bye.